Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 128 people in 10 different countries, and it's going to be awesome. The theme is here on this banner: gentle realizations, inner truths, and subconscious wisdom. Unlocking your subconscious wisdom. Because we can. And so this is the third healing in the set of 3 called the September triplet set. And then after this, not long after this, really, next week, in just over a week, on the 18th and the 21st of September, will be the September twin set of 2025, which is for sale on my website if you would like to purchase it. I would be happy to heal you. Even if we've never worked together before, that's fine. Purchase it and put your full name, and if you want, you can email me, say hi, because I'll probably have some little questions for you, and it'll be great. And I can also heal somebody else that's close to you, like a loved one, a relative, partner, etc. But so you buy it one spot per person, if you wish. Okay, so let's talk about my typos. Realization. So, the theme. Good. People can see and hear me. That's good. Good. Thank you. Excellent. So far, we've been doing a lot of yin yang balancing, which surprised me how helpful it is. I mean, the angel sort of led me to start doing it, but I maybe thought it was going to be like a one and done type thing, but it seems to be the root of why people are feeling the benefits this time for this set. So we're going to keep with it and do it more. So there'll be more yin yang stuff, like your yin energy and your yang energy, and seeing if they're both equally strong. If they're both equally strong, kind of like a river with enough water in it and a strong enough flow. If they're both got enough, water in them and strong enough flow, they balance each other out, and then you have much more high functioning. Like you feel better, you think better, you act more decisively, like things work. If your yin yang is strong and balanced. Yin and yang energies are strong and balanced. So we've been doing that, and it's been cool. And it hasn't been super technical, which I like too. I like doing things in a simple way as long as it's just as effective as if we were to do it in a complicated way. And then I'm all for simplicity. That's great. So we've been doing like a river that represents all your yin energy, your yin organ systems, your yin meridians, and then one river that represents all your yang energy and organ systems and meridians, and just like compare them, heal them both, unblock them both, get rid of junk from other people in them, get rid of like whatever is suppressing one or both of them. And a lot of times I'm seeing that like people have a less yin energy, and so then their yang energy just kind of goes nuts and like gets all wired and wild. And then if you can strengthen the yin energy, then it's like the yang kind of calms down, and then it's all like good to go. So I mean, you could have I suppose a yang deficiency as well. I'm just not seeing it in the people I'm looking at that I'm healing. So that's been interesting. But so on to what we're doing today with all of that. So there was this one concept that I wrote here, inner realization speed up positive change. So it gives you faster positive. So it leads to faster positive. And I do have a personal example for that, which is interesting. I guess I'll do that right now. Maybe. Yeah, I'll do the personal example. Okay, so so explaining a personal example. Okay, so we have a second cat now. My husband wanted one, and he wanted a specific second cat that had been roaming around the neighborhood and seemed to definitely be abandoned. He was out at all hours of the day and night, and even in the dead of winter, etc. And we had already gotten Boo Boo Kitty because she was out all day and night, even in the dead of winter. The one cat that we do have now. But she turns out to be pretty feral. Like, she doesn't want to be touched, even though we've had her for like 8 months now. 8, 9 months now. I don't mind that. We both do still love her. Of course, we're gonna still keep her. She likes being indoors. She likes, we have an arrangement that she likes. We just don't touch her. that's like her one sacred rule. Don't touch me. Don't try to touch me. Don't make me think you're trying to touch me. And then everything else is okay. She doesn't like if we walk. But we've worked around that, like, so that we can kind of like sidle nearby her or let her pass first or whatever, So we have an arrangement and she's quite happy with it. But my husband wanted to cuddle a cat. My husband, because we've had cats, for decades and in the past, but they got old and, their time came, whatever, passed away. But so he's been really missing a cuddly cat that will purr and sit on his lap and everything. And so it's been making him quite sad that our Boo Boo Kitty is, has that no touch rule. So anyway, the porch cat is our second cat, and he is now in our home. I figured out how to trap him and bring him inside. He's friendly though. He will let you pet him, but he wasn't gonna like hop into the carrier and be like, sure, take me to your house. Like, he was, scared, but he did like to be pet when, outside, when you're not trying to put him in a carrier or anything, And so, but anyway, I figured it out how to do it and made it happen. And I brought him in yesterday morning into the house, and then we quarantined him, and I had given him some meds, and now he's quarantined in my husband's study, and it's all good. So I will show you his picture, but I promise this is not a big pet update. I will do the pet update at the end for those that want the little details, but I will show the photo just because that's quick. So there they are right there. So to be fair, my husband was not, thinking that I'm about to snap his photo, so he's just there cuddling with his cat in our mudroom, which is behind me, which is where the cat was yesterday for the first day and night. So that's my husband, Lorenzo, and that's our new cat, who my husband has named Orson, as in Orson Welles, because the cat's very chubby right now, because somebody was overfeeding him. Like, some outdoor feeder wasn't like giving him an actual home, but was, we imagine, giving him access to unlimited, really cheap kibble or something. So that's why he's quite big. which is unhealthy. So we'll take care of that now that he's ours. And of course, we're gonna keep him indoor only. But as you can see, he's a real cuddle bug, and so he's gonna be very happy now. They're cuddling right now as we speak. My husband's study. So that's Orson. So how does this tie into positive change, faster positive change? Well, you know, first of all, I didn't even want a cat. I didn't even want any cat. I didn't want the first cat. Although of course I do love her to pieces now that she's here. But you know, it was for my husband that we got cats again. But I didn't even want the second cat. But then, you know, I guess my resistance to positive change, you know, got reduced. And then, because last healing, we worked on faster positive change, being comfortable with faster positive change. And damn if it didn't work. Because I was able to, you know, wham, bam, 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 like all these fairly complex things. I'll go into that in the pet update if you're interested. But it was fairly complex getting this cat. But I was able to make it happen and not freak out about it. And you know, and quickly. So it works to make yourself more okay with faster positive change. And also having the realization, like, okay, this is not going away. This is a truly deep need of my spouse's. And as a spouse, even if, you know, whatever, I want to accommodate his very heartfelt need, you know. So that was my realization. And then I realized how to do it and how to make it happen fast. And with the last healing, we worked on being okay with things that speed up, because when you have the realizations, it's like things could potentially really speed up, and they're positive change, you know. I mean, the cat's like the most loving thing ever, and it was so sad he was out, you know, in all hours, all by himself in the dirt and the, you know, whatever. So it's a good thing. It's positive change, but I don't even know if it would have happened in the first place without the whole inner realizations work and then the being okay with faster positive change to have it happen this quickly. So that's my personal example is Orson, Lorenzo's cat Orson. So thank you to Lorenzo for allowing me to take a photo when you're just trying to have a private moment with your new baby boy. And I will show that photo again probably when I do the pet update at the end, and I can give more details about how it all went down. Okay. So that was the example. So now back to being okay with faster positive change. So we're going to continue that too. So in addition to the, you know, yin and yang and making sure you have enough yin energy and enough yang energy, we're going to continue, and we'll do that in like some pretty cool ways this time. But then the being okay with faster positive change, that we're going to repeat one of the techniques we did in the second healing 3 days ago, because I felt like that one obviously must have worked. Judging even only from my own personal life, must have worked pretty well. But then there'll be a second way, and I'll explain that when we get to it. But it'll be like sort of like in the first one we did like a boat, a fast boat, a positive change boat that's going faster now because of your realizations. And then you're in water, either a river that you're going on or an ocean, but the ocean is moving faster and the boat's moving faster because of these realizations. And how do you feel about that when you're in the boat? Are you like in the back of the boat screaming in panic, you know, oh my gosh, stop all this change? Or, you know, are you in the middle of the boat being like, I don't know? Or are you in the front of the boat being like, yes, let's do this, yay, you know? And there could be parts of you that are in all those situations, and so you want to heal the parts of you that are not okay with this faster positive change, because obviously if it's still healthy and gentle, it's just faster. That's great technically for you, but it doesn't change the fact that there might be parts of you that are freaking out enough that you would put the brakes on it subconsciously and not allow it to happen. So we're going to build on that. We're going to do the boat metaphor, but we're also going to do, I guess I will talk about the metaphor probably, just because okay, so so the boat thing was good, right? The boat metaphor, maybe for you too, hopefully, helping you to kind of do simple read on yourself and be like, okay, am I in the back of the boat screaming, or am I in the front of the boat happy with this faster positive change? On all levels, even subconsciously. But then there's this the idea of feeling safe and in control. I think that's why a lot of people end up subconsciously slowing down their positive change or stopping it entirely. Because like daily routine, a weekly routine, and just like normalcy of like, okay, this always happens on a Tuesday, or this always happens in the first part of the month, and and just having those known routines and patterns, that can be very grounding for people and sort of like soothing, right? The normalcy, the regularity of it. So with faster positive change, you tend to lose some of that, right? And so, but what we can do is we can give you, and you can do it on yourself as well later with the techniques, but we can give you special clearings so that you can clear whatever baggage and nourish in a way so that you don't need total normalcy and total repetition of patterns. You can handle some spontaneous like realizations that then issue in a bunch of new change that is positive. That that you wouldn't lose too much comfort. Like you wouldn't get too stressed by that. So the metaphor is so we did a boat metaphor before, and we'll do that again because I think that was helpful. If you're comfortable with this faster moving boat of faster change. But then a plane, an airplane metaphor is what I thought of that I think could be nice and useful. It's like, do you feel like you're flying the plane of your faster positive change? Or do you feel like you're, like on some rope or ladder outside the plane, kind of being dragged behind, with all the wind speed and everything coming at you, and you're not in control of where the plane is going, or, the direction or the speed or anything, because there is some level of like unpredictability to positive change because your higher self and your angels kind of, can kind of whoosh in a whole bunch of it at once. And so consciously, you could feel like, whoa, but if it's more than that and it's like to the point of like definitely unpleasant, then that's a problem because you're not going to allow that probably, and you're going to just stop it subconsciously, and then you won't have that positive. So can you feel safe and in control during that positive time? So like, are you flying the plane? Or are you, in the passenger seat screaming, or you were still, flying outside of the plane on the ladder or the rope, just screaming like, stop the plane, So we're going to, clear, heal, and balance so that you feel like you're driving the plane, and sure, okay, your higher self and your angels just kind of can make it go pretty darn fast, but you just feel like you got this. Like you're in control of the plane, you and your higher self. So we'll work that. And it's maybe similar to the boat, but I think there's a different level of baggage about feeling in control, you know, like that you're the pilot, you know. There's a little bit different baggage that we can clear for that. But it's not very technical, you know, like we won't have to, you know, memorize a certain meridian or anything. It'll just be blanket exercise or, you know, piling up the blocks and melting them so that you feel like you're flying your own plane. So I hope that makes sense. So that's the whole faster positive change thing. And how we're going to do yin and yang, that's new. I'll just explain that when we get to it. But some of the yin yang stuff will not be new. It'll just be what we've been doing, which is very nice. That's that. So I will take a look at chat comments. And then after that, we'll do the 3 minutes of quiet where I finish my prep, and then I'll start the healing towards the end of that. And so for the first minute when I'm healing, you'll see me go like this right when I start. And that, for that first minute or so, I won't talk. But then after that, as I'm healing, I talk and I say what I'm doing as I do it. So you could use it as a self-healing walkthrough if you want. It's all levels walkthrough pretty much. I mean, I'll just say whatever I'm doing, but I would explain to a point where if you're an adventurous newbie, you'd understand enough to kind of go for it, follow along. And if you're advanced, then there'd be plenty of interest, I would think. So it's all levels. Okay. So let's see what we got here as far as people saying hello. Thank you for your comments. Oh, if you could give the stream a thumbs up if you wanted to, that does help YouTube to take it more seriously so that more people will get to learn how to heal themselves. That's a good thing. Okay, someone says, hello, Janet, and everyone. Hello to you. Hey, Janet, we can see and hear you in Chicago, 78 and sunny. That sounds pretty. We can see and hear you. Thank you. Hey, Janet, working now, but can see and hear you in cloudy, humid San Francisco, 68 Fahrenheit. A little cool, but I'm sure with humidity, that probably seems not too cool. Oh, that's nice. Someone says hello from Las Vegas, Nevada, 91 degrees and sunny. You still got that heat, but I guess cooler than it was, so that's good. Someone says hello from Ottawa, Canada, sunny. All good. Hello to our more sane country in the north. Hello to you. Someone says, oh, that's a very sweet photo. Oh, of Lorenzo and Orson. Someone says, my second cat, Annie, lives under my bed during the day. At night, she lays on a towel behind the bedroom door. She lets me pet her head after almost 2 years. Yeah. Funny. Orson is a great name. Lorenzo's good at like quirky things like that. His mind is very interesting. Nice picture of your family. Yes, that is a part of my family. Big part of my family. Then there's me and Boo Boo Kitty and our dog, Eagle, who is snoring next to me. Someone says, hi, Janet. Thank you for sharing. I like how you took your husband's best interests as your own. It's a win-win. Yes. Not like I'm the perfect wife, but yeah, I figured, all right, I got to give in on this one. Second cat, here we come. For God's sakes. Years ago, some of you may not know if you don't know me that long, but years ago we had 7 pets. We had 3 dogs and 4 cats, and we brought them all cross country to Washington State, 2,000-mile road trip. So pet ownership is definitely not something new to me, but I was imagining more of a break. But it is what it is. At least he agreed to do the feeding in the litter box. I just get to admire that they're cute for the most part. All right. So now we can do our 3 minutes of. Okay, thanks for waiting. So you have a big hand chakra in the palm of your hand, and you have a fingertip chakra in each fingertip. And you can set the hand chakras and the fingertip chakras to a metallic gold color like this glitter, so that as they spin, the energy they generate is metallic gold vibration. And that way, it's just really good for unblocking and repairing and letting go. So you can use the gold light from one hand to heal and unblock the other hand and your wrists. Well, fingers, wrists, like that. Just Did I mute it? Oh, bite me. When did I mute it? Let me know how long that was silent for. I think my mic was muted. Oh, annoying. I don't hear any sound. Ah! Let me know now. I think the sound should be fine now. But let me know. Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. How long was the sound out for? You were not muted. Oh, good. Weird. All right. So I'll just keep going. Like that didn't happen. But anyway, somebody said, okay, so this is a teaching aside, of course, because how can I not? Okay. So somebody who's a relative newbie in their survey, so I'm not judging. Obviously, stuff takes time to kind of learn it. You hear it sometimes like 20 times, and then it finally starts to make sense, and you're like, "Oh, that's what you've been meaning." so that's fine, but it's a good example. Okay, so they said that beings went away, invasive beings went away, and they were feeling better, but then the invasive beings came back. And now, there's more than before even, And the thing is, kind of they came back, but not exactly. What happened is most of the time you have an equal amount of pressure on you from invasive energies, invasive people, invasive beings. Some, especially invasive beings. It's not like they're all waiting till next Thursday to mess with you, right? They're pretty much always trying to mess with you. They have nothing better to do. They don't have their own bodies. That's all they do, right? So there's this pressure all the time. So what changed is that you got aura damage again. So all sorts of damage was repaired by the last healing. Good karma window damage was repaired. Aura damage to your 17 auras was repaired. So your chakra damage was repaired. You were like a well-tuned car at that point, right? But then, sure enough, you got a ton of damage to your GV Wei Qi aura back here. And so your GV meridian just got hacked to pieces by external energy. Like someone in your life was whacking you in the back, and they're pretty good at it. And you did have some energy blocks. And so that made the whack go deeper. Plus, they were pretty darn persistent. And so they got all the way through. And so that got all ripped up. This main meridian that helps calm and manage all your yang energy. And so invasive beings were able to access your space. Also, the urinary bladder meridian eventually got damaged because that Wei Qi aura got damaged from the whacking from the person. And so then eventually it's like, a bunch of open doors. So a bunch of beings waltzed in that were not able to waltz in before. Not that they weren't trying. They just were able to because you got aura damage, good karma window damage, chakra damage, meridian damage. So that's the thing. Like, try to be logical and find out what happened so that it directs you to what to do about it. Because if you just say, "Oh, the beings went away and now they're back and it's worse than ever," there's nothing you can do. You're fucked. Use my French. But if you're logical about it, you think, okay, well, fine. Invasive beings probably always trying to screw with me equally. So something else must have happened so that I am more vulnerable to invasive beings now than I was right after the healing. What could have happened? Life, damage, whacks from people, causing major damage, causing more major damage. And then the invasive beings were able to access much more of your space much more easily than if you were, large and in charge and all repaired and rocking it, right? And so what do you do about it? You do repairs. See how if you're logical about it and you think of like what actually is different. What is different is you got damage because they were whacking from people. So you could do some, you know, conflict resolution flowers. There's a short video on that, angel assisted conflict resolution flowers. It's in the title, it's AA conflict resolution flowers. In the short video playlist, which is featured on my YouTube channel page. The short video playlist, and then you find the one that says AA conflict resolution flower. So you can try to chill out that person in a karmically correct, proper, clean way so they stop whacking you. But a lot of times, you know, people will just whack you for like a half a day, but the damage is so big, then you're dealing with the repercussions that they're not still whacking you. You know, so whatever. So you can try those flowers so they don't hurt. And then, but you got to repair. So that then you have the boundaries that you had after the healing. You see? So think of what really happened so then you can think about what to do about it. Make sense? So that's why we're about to do the 5 essentials, which have everything to do with repair. Repair all the essentials, grounding, unblock grounding, aura repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair, good karma window work back here, all the back doors, get all those repaired. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. That's my teaching aside, and hope you didn't mind it. And don't worry if, you know, you've been listening to me for like years and you just now realize, like, seriously, Janet? It's fine. It's just the way things work. You know, sometimes you just doesn't click until it clicks. So hope that clicks for some people. And if you have follow-up questions, you can post them, and I'll, if I have time, get to them after the post-healing chat. You have questions about what I just... All right, so let's go to... Let's say that was enough on the neck, shoulders, and arms. And go, in the interest of time, we will go to grounding and heal far off parts. I like that combo. It's definitely opposites, you know. Grounding is here, and then we're thinking of the parts of you that are like super scattered and far off and healing them so they come back. But working for me. I hope it works for you. You can let me know in the comments or in the survey if you have any opinions about combining the 2 steps. Okay, so grounding, you're already grounded, but we want ideally to be grounded as much as possible. So you can release as much as possible and receive as much earth energy as possible. So you'd be like really strong, like a big strong tree or a big strong mountain, whatever kind of image you like. So recreate both your groundings, astral body grounding and physical body grounding. Make them nice and wide as all your auras. Make them both the same color, red or orange or yellow, and bring them up high as your 3rd chakra, which is below your sternum. That bone in the middle there, when that ends below that, that's your 3rd chakra. Bring up both your groundings that high, and then you can make a copy of your groundings out in front of you and use gold light from your hands and just flood your groundings with gold light so that you're melting away blocks. And also flood the outer surfaces of your groundings. So you're melting away connections from other people going into your grounding, and you're melting away any hard objects that are stuck in your grounding. Melt all those. And even if you don't see, you can do this because you can kind of just imagine that you're gathering up all the blocks and melting them because you're saturating them with so much gold light until they dissolve. Gather up the energy blocks in your grounding, around them in so much gold light. Keep going with that until they dissolve. And speaking of pressure from invasive beings, you could have some blocks maybe that are being courted by some invasive people or some invasive beings. And maybe it to the point where that person or that invasive being is like in your grounding. So there's like a chunk of their energy in it. So that's kind of, you know, if an invasive being, they don't have a lot of energy. So maybe the whole thing is in there. But so invasive beings, you can just gather them together too and freeze them and just say, angels, can you recycle all these? What invasive beings look like if you don't see energy yet, they could look like a dust bunny, you know, like a bunch of pet hair or whatever on your ground that's on the floor that's kind of rolling together. You know, a bunch of lint from the dryer maybe. Or you know, just something like sort of smoky, or like you know, if you see like on a really hot road from the distance, like the sun kind of, the air kind of starts to wave, you know, there's like this effect, this heat effect off of really hot pavement, you know, in the distance. So that, like how the air kind of gets wavy, that can be how an invasive being looks. But you don't have to see them. Just use your intuition and be like, angels, can you recycle all these invasive beings? And sometimes, you know, you do that. And so then that's nice. The ones that you were aware of then cleared, but then you melt some more blocks and you notice some more weird wavy smokiness. And so you're like, angels, can you recycle these beings too? And, you know, why do you have to ask multiple times? You already said once for your grounding. Don't your angels listen? What's wrong with their ears? Why can't they just do what you tell them to do? In my experience, angels don't just whisk away every invasive being when you mention, you know, can you clear out all the invasive beings in my grounding? They'll clear out a batch of them, even though you said all. You know, you'd be like, angels, I said all, do all, remove all. You know, they're always thinking of like healthy and gentle. So they want to ease you, more present. And then, you know, you find some more and ask them again and they'll recycle some more and they'll get rid of those. You know, so they tend to recycle beings in batches. So just use your intuition and be like, oh yeah, here's some more cloudiness. Angels, can you recycle these beings too? And then get rid of more blocks. And find more cloudiness. Say, angels, can you recycle these beings too? So the idea is you want really fast downward flow. Okay. So then far off parts of you can just imagine like little miniature versions of you like floating far, far away. Some of them is like parts of you that is just like on some astral level. Some parts of you, it's a part of you that is like you went and hid in a past life, you know, in the past. You're just like, okay, I'm going to pretend it's back then and not now. So just run gold light through all these far off parts of you because they need a healing. They deserve a healing. So just be gentle, but be like, hey, it's okay. You deserve a healing. Because sometimes, you know, it'll definitely help you with strength, inner strength. And all that, if you can heal these parts of you and they can come back, because that way you get more of your energy. So then your energy is more like a really strong dishwashing machine that can scrub away blocks. Whereas if you're mostly checked out, you don't have as much power. So heal all these far off parts of you so they can come back. They can feel better. And then they automatically come back when they feel better. All right, good enough. Okay. So I had done a teaching aside a couple minutes ago, and I was talking about aura damage, and how you have 17 auras. So, you know, if two key ones back here are like bashed to bits, you know, and like really missing, those auras are missing back there, then it can open you up to a lot of damage, a lot of, you know, feeling overwhelmed. So let's repair all your auras. You have your astral body aura, your physical body aura, and 15 auras called Wei Qi auras. So if I say like, oh, your GV meridian Wei Qi aura, it's one of the Wei Qi auras, which are big gold protective force fields, your strong boundaries energy. So let's repair them all at once. You don't have to, know which one is damaged. You just imagine all your auras at the same time. And you can comb through them with gold light, and you could repair them this way, like you find a bunch of, you can tell that there's a bunch of rips in this one part, say, back here or by your tummy or something. And then you just focus on so much gold light there, and you ask your angels to recycle invasive beings that are in the way. And then you just keep feeling. You can get rid of any junk, give it to your angels, and just keep, get the gold light as deep as you can so that it all grows back, right? So that's sort of a localized repair where you're repairing one damaged area at a time. But we'll repair all areas at once, all rips at once. So you imagine, create a copy of a rip and just say, okay, well, this rip represents all the rips in all my 17 auras. So then as you repair this, you're repairing all the rips, right? So you have and I call that a composite copy rip, right? It's like a composite of all the rips. So you clean it out and then you repair it, right? So clean out with sticky gold wax, fill it up with gold light from your hands that sticks to whatever's not you. And so it forms a lump. And then you lift out all that junk all at once, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, get out all the junk. Angels, here you go. So the junk is like hard objects from people that were thrown. That's why the rip happened in the first place, maybe. Or just invasive beings or invasive people. So again, sticky gold wax, get rid of all that junk in the rip. Angels, here you go. And then you can use gold light and get it as deep as possible into the rip so that it grows back. All those rips were. All right, so that probably repaired most of the rips, but there could be a few extra that are a little stubborn. So let's just repair the leftover rips with the same process. So make an image of a rip and say, okay, well, this rip represents all the leftover rips, right? And then same thing. You could say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? And then sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk. Angels, here you go. You get the gold light as deep as possible in there. And do you have any leftover hard objects? Angels, here you go. Give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Right, and then check the outer surface of all your auras for any leaks or leftover hard objects sticking out, and just melt away the hard objects. Repair if there are any tiny leaks left over. There are any invasive beings still in the way of aura repairs? Angels, can you please recycle them? Right. You could redo your gold buffer zones. And there is a video on that if you need to learn more. First chant, right? Gold buffer zones. You'll find it. They're gold flowy force fields that help slow the rate of aura damage if you recreate them often enough. You could quickly repair gold mesh spheres. Those are in all your Wei Qi auras. You have 3 gold mesh spheres, 1, 2, 3. They generate all the gold light that your Wei Qi auras are filled with. So you just want to make sure there's no gaps, that they're continuous. Spheres around you. Get as much gold light generated as possible. Okay, good job. Okay, so we're going to do creative ring repairing and unblocking, and we're also going to unblock the creative rings and all the major chakras at the same time, just for fun. But then we are going to repair all the chakras too, and do more unblocking in the next. So creative rings are up here, 1, 2, 3. They're a part of you as an eternal spirit, as part of your astral body energy system. So you can make a copy out in front of you of your creative rings, 3 gold rings, 1, 2, 3, and just use gold light and melt away anything that's not you from around the rings, any cords from invasive people or invasive beings, any cords from anybody going into your creative rings, just melt them away with gold light. And the creative rings have rings, just like the chakras have rings. So if this is the basic shape of a chakra, an open cylinder, the flaps, they have flaps, I meant to say. So there are flaps around the round openings of a chakra, just like there are flaps around the round opening of a creative ring. So when they stick out, they look like this. So this is a top-down view of any one of your 3 creative rings. And I'm just wondering why it doesn't look metallic gold. See, this camera, the light of this camera is so weird. It makes me look like deathly white, first of all. It's a new camera, but it like overexposes everything. And this doesn't even look gold. This is drawn with metallic. Oh, whatever. Okay, I'm train wrecking. So you don't want it to look like this. This is an irritated state where you have cords going in, sending energy that's not yours, and the flaps open and puff out. And the problem with that is it makes it easier for more invasive people or invasive beings to cord you. So you want to just imagine those flaps on your creative rings and use so much gold light and melt so many cords and say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings screwing with my creative rings? So that the flaps relax and fall shut. So it's a nice smooth round opening without flaps sticking. And sometimes the flaps won't shut, and it's because there's some damage. Damage on creative rings can look like, cracks, smashed pieces, missing chunks. If you feel like this one part of your creative ring, the flaps are constantly open, there must be some kind of damage. And if all your gold light is not repairing it, then there must be some invasive beings that are in the way. So you can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are right here? Now, why would you have to say that? You already asked for your angels to recycle invasive beings from your creative rings. Well, beats the hell out of me why you have to keep saying it. The only thing that I hear that makes sense from the angels is that, incremental. They need you to keep getting more present. They'll recycle more if you get more present, then they'll recycle more. Then show you more and they'll recycle more. Keep getting more present and keep asking. Angels making me smile because they talk about patience. Be patient. Growth is growth is incremental, so recycling of invasive beings is also incremental. Well, okay. Alrighty. So then that's repairing creative rings, melting cords from them. So then if you imagine your 3 gold creative rings and then beneath that all your major chakras along your spine, your 7 astral chakras and your 7 physical body chakras. So they're oriented, okay, 7th is oriented this way with round opening in the top and round opening in there in the bottom. And then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is oriented this way, round opening in the front and round opening in the back. Obviously, this is much more big than the real thing. But yeah, right there, and then in the back, right here, and in the back. On down. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are like that. 7th is like this. And you got your create. Right? So just sticky gold wax is gold light from your hands and it sticks to whatever's not you that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. Sticky gold wax the whole damn thing. And then move the wax out with the junk. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Patience. Sticky gold wax, your cravings, and all your major chakras. Move out the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax the whole thing. Move everything out. That's not you. Angels, here you go. Breath, breathe into your toes and your hips, shoulders, your butt, and your fingers. Double check the unblocking of your chakras, both 7th chakras, both 6th chakras, 5th chakras, 4th chakras. 3, 2, 1. So now we will do more chakra work. Okay. So this is the basic chakra shape, right? So you can imagine an image similar to that and say, okay, well, this represents all my energy centers, all my chakras, right? So major chakras as well as minor chakras. Minor chakras are all the others. So acupuncture points are chakras. You have chakras around every joint, every, major limb has a ton of chakras to keep the flow, yada, yada. So represents all your chakras, and then go ahead and use gold light to repair and unblock it. I keep smiling because my angels keep talking to me about patience. Try to correct me up at this point. So keep melting cords. And again, you have flaps around the round openings. So the more cords you melt, the more those flaps can relax and fall shut so that your energy can come and go, but it's harder for other people to latch on and send their energy or take your energy. Cords, repair damage. Angels, can you recycle invasive beings that are messing with my chakras? You can melt blocks in place with the gold light from your hands, or you can lift out the blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of and just melt everybody out of the blocks and then blow them up, or keep melting them with gold light. They're all gone. Lift out the blocks, melt them away with gold light till they are up. Out the blocks, melt them with so much gold light till they're gone. Breaths. See how you're doing. That's a pretty massive thing to do, you know, because all the chakras includes all your acupuncture points in all your meridians. Doing. You can have energy in your chakras that's kind of overwhelming. It could be people's energy or invasive beings. So you can just lift out any energy from your chakras that's overwhelming and say, angels, can you help me with all that? So that way, if it's people, they'll just return it to where it belongs. And if it's an invasive being, they'll recycle it. So lift out any overwhelming energy in your chakras. Angels, can you help me with all that? And just settle in more into your body, into all your chakras of your body and spirit. All right, good job. Good job, good job. Okay, so good karma windows. I have recently started calling them back doors, just because I don't feel like it's as poetic and cool sounding, but it is perhaps better understood. So good karma windows, they are back here, and they are back doors into your astral body energy system and into a very key part of, you know, key place that you want to be present, to be as focused as possible. If these back doors are damaged, it's easier for people and invasive beings to come in and root in your upper chakras and kind of, you know, fly your plane. So you don't want that, right? So we're going to repair these good karma windows and unblock them so that only your energy, you can bring in your energy through here, your positive change energy, and just stay present here. So like you're really just clicked in and in charge. And you're even more present in all your upper chakras. Okay. So good karma windows, you have 7 of them, 1 in each astral body aura layer, and the shape is like this, like a triple frame window. And so you can imagine all 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. And go ahead and use so much gold light that you are flooding them with gold light, so that, and just take your time with it. Use enough gold light that any invasive being has to move the heck out. And say, angels, can you recycle all the invasive beings that are connected to my good karma windows or were connected to my good karma window? So that includes the ones that are trying to tiptoe out of the way. And there can be a couple that are just so they go through there, and from when they were damaged, they go through there and they're just so anchored in your upper chakras that it's hard to like blast them out with gold light. So just use gold light around all your upper chakras, like little chakras and big chakras here, this whole area, and just surround them with gold light. And like you're pulling a weed in the garden and you want to get the root, just, you know, get rid of all the invasive energy. Angels, here you go. Out. Angels, here you go. Get it out. Angels, here you go. Now, like I said, invasive beings have nothing better to do than to screw with people. So you have to repair and move in order to be able to hold your ground. So make yourself comfortable. You can make an extra grounding for the base of skull area. Head ground, coming all the way from the earth all the way up base of your skull. And so we'll probably go back and forth between base of skull and good karma windows. So this is the base of skull points that that's what I mean when I talk about them. So those are traditional Chinese medicine meridians in that diagram right there. And then the dots in the diagram are chakras. Those are your acupuncture points. They're chakras, little minor chakras within the meridians. So this is the basic chakra shape, right? So then as your energy goes up, well, the midline one is going upward. The yellow ones right there are going downward. And the blue-green ones right there are going downward. But you don't have to know direction because the motors, these chakras are motors and they know which direction it's supposed to go. So you just repair and unclog the motors. But if you're interested, you know, the midline one is GV meridian, governing vessel meridian, that helps to manage all your yang meridians. So it's extra important. And then the yellow ones, that's urinary bladder meridian. Starts in the inner corner of the eye, goes up and over and back. And then it goes from 2 branches down to 4 and splits to 4 branches going down the back, down the legs. So, but just during that base of skull area, you can work those chakras in the yellow line. Urinary bladder meridian chakras. A lot of tightness that a lot of people have right now in the urinary bladder meridian. I don't know why that is. More so than GV, it seems like. And if you feel like that chakra is not fixing itself just with direct gold light at that meridian and at that acupuncture point, that little chakra right there, then check out the aura behind it, because you could have aura damage maybe on that one aura that's supposed to most nurture that meridian, or in several auras that are supposed to, you know, protect this part of your body. So you could double check that, see if maybe you have 1 or 2 auras that are still damaged back there. You say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this air? Yeah, just. And then you could just have energy blocks in those auras. That put pressure on the meridians in those chakras. Because invasive people and invasive beings can cord those blocks, and then it's like a stepping stone in to put more pressure directly on the meridians. Melt the blocks. So you're just combing through, especially to take the heat off the urinary bladder meridian, base of skull points, the yellow lines. So the melt away the inner area blocks, like the core blocks and the core parts of the auras, and then the peripheral blocks out here more in the outer parts of the aura. And you can ask the angels to recycle invasive beings that are hooked into these blocks. And melt away people's cords, and the blocks at that point should just automatically melt. Not much more gold light. And GB meridian is the blue-green one in the outer part of the base of skull area. The gallbladder meridian, it starts near the eye, I believe. Yeah. It's the lower one that starts by the outer corner of the eye right there, not the one that starts by the eyebrow, but that starts in the corner of the eye. And then it goes towards the ear and up towards the scalp, and then a bunch of points there, and then it does a wide arc around the ear. And then it goes up to the forehead, and then it goes back through that base of skull area. So you could repair the whole thing and unblock the whole thing if you want. You know, just imagine like the side of your head, ears, and your aura. Next to that, like this whole part, comb through a copy of your head, auras around the side. Angels, if there are any invasive beings, this area, accessing this area, can you please recycle them? And base of skull points for the gallbladder meridian. That blue-green line going through the base of skull area. All right, good enough. Let's go backtrack just a teeny bit to the good karma windows. Yeah, just use your intuition and figure out which windows are kind of have too much pressure, like maybe there's some damage, maybe there's some invasive beings still. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings around here? And then just flood them with so much gold light. I'm doing, for everybody, I'm doing good karma window 3, 2, and 1 right now at the same time. All right, good job, good job. Woohoo! You're a rock star. Let's see. Let's do that. So that is a very big rhododendron bush. And rhododendron is the state flower of Washington State, where I live. Rhododendrons can grow very tall, like even like I've seen one that was like probably 25 feet tall at least. Well, yeah, maybe 20 feet tall. Obviously, they're not all that. Okay, so Okay. So I explained this in the pre-healing discussion, that this is sort of the gist of today is to help you to feel safe and in control with faster positive change so that you don't have to subconsciously put the brakes on your own evolvement, and just to feel safe and in control by making everything the same all the time. There are ways to heal yourself and nourish yourself so that you can have positive change a lot and pretty rapid positive change and still feel safe and in control. So, but that may require, some serious work, which is fine. It's not hard work. It's serious. All right, not serious. We won't do it in a serious way. Significant work. Unserious yet significant work. How about that? So let's do that. Unserious yet significant. So I guess first just imagine the plane of your positive, faster positive change that you would get from inner realizations. Inner realizations tend to bring faster positive change into your life. So if you were to imagine your faster positive change as an airplane and you, in relation to this faster positive change, are you in the plane flying it? Are you being dragged outside by the plane? Are you in the passenger seat of the plane freaking out? Where are you in relation to your faster positive change plane? And just get an overall sense. Oh my God. My angels are cracking me up so hard. They showed me parts of me that are like being dragged behind the plane hanging onto a rope, screaming and being hit by big tall trees that the plane is flying by. So I'm like, so obviously that part of me is not feeling in control and safe. So there are different parts of you that feel different ways, right? So you have a sense of some of the parts of you that need help with this issue. So now, imagine a big old blanket and put on it the inner baggage, and it could be dumped from other people in your space. You could be carrying other people's drama, other people's pain, other people's whatever, other people's fear. It could be your own though, from past lives that you didn't finish clearing, or this life earlier. So whatever energy makes you not feel safe and in control and flying your positive change plane. So put all that junk on the gold blanket and say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath while your angels sort through the pile for you. So then everything that's still in this pile is healthy and gentle to clear right now. So you can, one more question. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are connected to this junk? And then now you can do the rest. Just bring up red earth energy, soak all this junk in red earth energy, which starts everybody's energy draining out of it, and use gold light to melt cords going into all this junk from other people and from yourself. And then just keep using gold light to wash everybody out of this baggage and just fully melt it or blow it up. Deep breath. So now be honest with yourself and go ahead and check in again with your faster positive change plane and see where are you in relation to your faster positive change plane. Are you flying it, feeling safe and in control? Are you flying it and freaking the heck out? Are you being dragged behind it outside? Are you in the passenger seat screaming and banging on the windows? What are you doing? Uh, oh, that's funny. My angels are like cherry picking the funniest parts of me. So there's this part of me that they showed me that I'm in the plane finally, but I'm in one of the passenger seats with like a barf bag and I'm passing out. And I've already barfed. So that part of me needs more healing. And that's not unusual. This stuff takes, it's incremental. So do it and then imagine and do more and imagine it and do more and imagine it. So it's okay. So why don't we do the mini U thing this time? We did blanket exercise already. So how about we do mini U's? So you can just imagine, like for me, I would imagine, the part of me that's nauseous with a barf bag and passing out, and the other parts that are, screaming or ambivalent or, whatever. Right. So just imagine all the parts of you, conscious and subconscious, in relation to your faster positive change plane. And then go ahead and heal all these parts of you. Lots of gold light. Be comforting. Be gentle. Lots of gold light. Say, hey, you deserve a healing. Some people are very verbal with their fears, yelling and screaming. So just use lots of gold light. You can do a tricolor soak with these parts of you. So bring up red earth energy straight from the core of the earth. Soak these parts of you in red earth energy. Bring up orange earth energy straight from the core of the earth. Bring up yellow earth energy straight from the core of the earth. And gold light. You can say, angels, can you help me finish healing these parts of me? Deep breath. Check your grounding. Imagine both your groundings, astral and physical. Double check. Unblock them. All right. So then check in with this visual metaphor. Imagine your faster positive change plane, and how are you in relation to your faster positive change? And again, part of you could be enjoying it and part of you is really not. So you can imagine both, imagine the part of you that's super okay with faster positive change. And then, but also, and you can cheer on that part of you like, yay, woohoo. Throw that part of you a confetti party. Woohoo, I'm a rock star, woohoo. But then notice the parts of you that are not okay with the faster positive change experience on the plane, with the plane, and see what those parts of you were up to. So the most amusing part of me that the angels picked out is I'm in the back of the plane swearing a lot. Freaking out in a very verbally profane manner. So again, imagine any parts of you that are still less than okay, less than happy with the faster positive change. And just use lots of gold light and be nice to these parts of you. And if you're especially puzzled by the part of you that's not okay with this. You know, you could talk to that part of you if you want, you know, and just kind of figure it out. But if that's not possible, you don't have to. Just that's a cool. Okay, good job. And you can say, angels, help me. Help me to be uh enjoying uh faster positive change. I'm going to look at a few sample people for a minute to figure out exactly what is best right now. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, there can be, I didn't go into this exactly in the intro discussion, but there can be people who take energy, you know, through cords and stuff. And they could take energy from a certain chakra. But since we're working yin and yang, I noticed that some people, it's like when you look at the yin, their yin energy, or you look at their yang energy, it's like there's a big hole where it's missing. Like they're missing a piece or several pieces of their yin energy or their yang energy. So in traditional Chinese medicine, you know, from what I know, they would call that deficiency, right? So a yin deficiency, you could have yin deficiency, or I think you can have yang deficiency as well, though I think I tend towards yin deficiency. But yeah, so people can take energy and people can take some of your yin energy or some of your yang energy. So if yang is like your ability to kind of, you know, self-assert and take charge and all that, and your yin energy is more like subtle and you know, gentle and complex in a way and a little quieter. It depends on, you know, how someone wants to affect you. Or like I was looking at somebody and they had like these warrior past lives, and the people that they were fighting didn't want them to have really strong warrior energy, so they stole some of their yang energy. Whereas, you know, maybe in a past life where you they wanted you to be extra sort of weak and vulnerable. Maybe they depleted your yin energy so that you just felt like no energy and no, you know, just like whatever. I don't want to get into a big detail about why someone does what they do. You know, people do unkind, unconscious things all the time. So, but the point is you can call it back. So you can imagine, your yang energy like an ocean or a big river and just see, are there gaps, or is the level of water like way down below what is like a healthy water line for your yin energy or your yang energy. And that's why it's kind of nice to compare the two, yin and yang, as bodies of water or as rivers or whatever, so that, because if you want them to be balanced, I mean, you don't want both of them to be weak, but you want them to both be strong and both be similar in strength, so that then they keep each other in check, and it's like a really nice system. So so we're just going to call back. Long story short, finally. We're just going to call back your yin energy that was stolen from you, or maybe you gave away at some point, and then we'll call back your yang energy that was stolen from you, or you gave it away somehow. Okay? So easy peasy. Call back. Let's do it. So as usual, when we call back energy, you just make a 3-dimensional gold object and use it like a magnet. So you don't go to wherever your energy is, you call it back to you. Even if someone stole it, that's fine. You call it back with the magnet. You don't screw with anybody, just call it back because it's your energy. So it comes back like that easily, right? So you can call it back like even just onto like a gold table, make the gold table like a magnet and just and it just calls it all back. So it's on the table spread out, and then you can heal it all, clean it up so that it just gets all clean and nice. And then you just have your energy back. It's not on the table anymore. You just let it go wherever it needs to within your, right? So we can do yin and yang separately, because that might be interesting for you, but you don't have to. You can do them both at the same time if you wanted. But let's call back your yin energy. We could have a magnetic gold table, and call all the yin energy back that was stolen from you onto your magnetic gold table. You can see little bunches like, oh, somebody stole this much in that life, someone stole this much in this life, a different person stole this much in that life. And just see all the yin energy that was stolen from you. And lots of gold light. Just melt away any connections to people, any junk from other people, anything that's not just nice energy. Just melt it all with gold light. So that then when it's all ideal, just receive it back. So we'll do that with your yang energy that got stolen from you, whatever time period, whatever past life that happened. So make a big gold magnetic table and call back your yang energy onto the table from wherever it was. So different bunches, you can see, oh, that bunch is a big bunch. That was from a certain past life. It got taken from me back then, or whatever. Call back all your yang energy. You don't have to separate it out as to where it was. Just if you're interested, otherwise make a big pile. And then just use lots of gold light, clean it out. You can say, angels, can you clean this out for me too? Your angels help as well. And then just let that energy come back to you. So, and you can imagine your yang and your yin rivers. And we talked about this in the healing 3 days ago, the second healing in the set of 3. The yin river would include your, I'll just go over it really fast because it's detailed out in the other healing if you really needed to see it written. Actually, it's in the info section even of this video because I copied stuff over forward. So yeah, if you look in the info section of this live stream or later as a video, it lists, yin river And then it'll say CV meridian, heart meridian, spleen, lung, kidney, and liver. And then Yang River is GV meridian plus small intestine, stomach, large intestine, urinary bladder, and gallbladder. But you don't have to know the different meridians and organ systems for yin and yang. If you don't want, you can work it just fine this way, just as a yin river and as a yang river. I mean, that's what we're doing, but you don't have to know what makes up the yang river and what makes up the yin river for this to work, right? So just imagine your yin river and imagine your yang river, and see, like, is one a lot bigger than the other? Are they equally strong? And like, if you imagine a volume of each that would be optimal for you right now, today, what is like one lower than that? Are they both optimal? And just keep healing them with gold light. You could bring up red earth energy. Gold light, wash everybody out of these rivers. So, and just notice, like, is one river lower than the ideal level, or are they both lower? And sometimes one river can be above ideal because it gets overactive when the other one is too weak. So we're going to work more on yin and yang energy, but that was calling back your energy. And that was also a little bit of direct healing on both rivers, yin river and yang river. So then we did this before about that things can suppress the energy. So, you know, what we did just now is people could steal the energy, but there can also be something added that suppresses the river itself, the energy, right? And so we're going to get a little more specific today about what could suppress and clear it out. So I think it's mostly yin suppressing, but from what I could see, but I'm not a Chinese medicine expert, so I'm not sure what they would say about that. But I'm going to say yin suppressing, because that's how I see it when I look. But I'll leave en yang there just in case it technically, according to but so we're going to clear out things that suppress your yin energy or your yang energy. And grief, resentment, and guilt were the things that we're specifically going to clear out, that I saw needed to be done today and can have a really big impact, messing with your yin yang strength and also the balance. So we'll do them in the reverse order than what I just said. So we'll do guilt, then resentment, then grief, because I think grief is like many things at once, like many chakras, many, you know, aspects. So guilt, I think, is a little bit easier, ironically, to work. Okay, so, and this is going to be so your guilt, but also invasive guilt from other people. So you can genuinely feel, you know, guilty about something that maybe you did, you regret, you know, but you can also have guilt from other people, like people are guilt tripping you. And so they're like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, or, you know, that was terrible that you did that. And they drop in that a chunk of energy that has that message. Or if somebody feels they wronged you, genuinely feels that they wronged you, and they feel guilt about it, they can have invasive guilt where they are courting you and running some of their guilt through you. Like, I feel so bad about this. I feel terrible about this. You know, maybe it's could be just subconscious, but so they're running their guilt, their sincere guilt through you because you're related to why they feel guilty. Maybe they feel guilty because they, you know, were kind of judgy towards you or whatever, you know? So we're going to clear all that out. Bottom line. So you can imagine both rivers if you want, your yin and your yang rivers, and imagine guilt. And you can imagine the rivers next to each other, or you can imagine them like a big circle, which I kind of like. So like yang is your yang river's one side and your yin river's the other side, and they're connected and they work together and they support each other and make each other stronger. And just imagine, where is guilt in this image, you know, and what is it like? Is it like heavy rocks at the bottom of the river? What is it? Where is your guilt? What does it look like? Is it like some ice chunks in the river? What is it? So, and just imagine, and you know, if you can't see, just make it up. You know, it's like your imagination is like the fraternal twin of visualization. So if you don't yet have visualization to see what it already looks like, just kind of wing it and be like, looks like this. Okay. And then gather up the guilt that's impacting your yin and your yang rivers and lift it out. The angels, here you go. So scoop up the guilt. Angels, here you go. So it could be, like I said, invasive guilt from others. So scoop up other people's guilt. Angels, here you go. Scoop up other people's guilt. Angels, here you go. Or it could be your own guilt, like your own regret for something maybe that happened or didn't happen and you just feel bad about it. So lift all your own guilt out and use lots of gold light and melt it away. Lift your own guilt out, use lots of gold light and melt it away. Okay, and then heal both your rivers, help them to work together. All right, good job. So that was clearing guilt. So then we'll do resentment. And same thing, you can have your own resentment, like you resent somebody, or you can have invasive resentment from others. Like somebody is saying, you know, I hate you, and they're in your space saying that. Yeah. So let's get rid of all that. So you can imagine your yin and your yang rivers and imagine what resentment looks like. How is resentment impacting? And this can be subconscious. It can be from past lives. So even if you feel like consciously, you know, you don't resent anybody, you know, it does look. And then look and see your resentment or resentment from others. What does it look like? Does it look like rocks, pebbles, windstorms, little tornadoes? What does it look like? And just lift out the resentment. Angels, here you go. Lift out the resentment. Angels, here you go. And if there's resentment that's just yours, you could use gold light and melt it. Lift out your resentment. Use gold light until it melts fully. Lift out your resentment. Gold light until it melts fully. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this resentment, can you recycle them? So again, any resentment, whether it's from you or from other people, just lift it out. Lots of gold light. Melt it away fully. And sometimes people pretend, kind of. It's like you don't want to be resentful. You don't want to have grudges that are like 10 lifetimes old that you haven't cleared yet. But sometimes it doesn't mean you don't have that. It means you're pretending you don't have it, right? So go ahead and just like give yourself a hug and be like, hey, it's okay. I would like to be aware of this stuff so I could clear it, right? And then just lift out the resentment from your yin and your yang rivers. Give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? All right, lift out the resentment from your yin and your yang rivers. Angels, can you help me with this? All right, lots of gold light. Okay, good enough. So then grief. So invasive grief from others is definitely a thing. That's why if ever I do have, heaven forbid, well, at some point it'll happen, someone close to me, a person or a pet, pass away, you'll never find out from me, like right when it happens, because it would take time for me to process enough so that my boundaries are as good as possible with it. So that then I can tell people, and if it triggers them and they're invasive with their guilt, it's not really an issue for me. I can, most of it won't get in, and any that does, I'll clean it out pretty easily because I've already, gotten through the bigger part of my own grief processing first. So the angels always love that. If you have time to process first before you share news with others, it's just easier boundaries wise, right? So let's clear grief. Woo, woo, woo. So just imagine your yin and your yang rivers and imagine what grief looks like that impacts your grief or grief from other people. So like maybe someone's like, oh, I'm so sorry, that's so terrible. Or what you said reminds them of something that they're going through or they went through, that they're not over yet. So they dumped a little sample size bunch of grief in your space. So just notice all the grief in your yin and your yang rivers, and just have your intention be you want to notice what's healthy and gentle to get out of there right now, right? So just notice the grief, lots of gold light, lift out the grief and melt it away with lots of gold light. You can notice, if there's a certain person maybe that you're still grieving the loss of or a certain situation, but don't get caught up in it, like stay viewing from your 6th and your 7th. If you need to like lighten up, like do a little funny stuff with yourself, wiggle your butt, do the wave. I don't know how that works. Right? Do the right. So imagine your yin and your yang rivers. Imagine any grief. It could be really old grief or invasive grief from others that's mucking it up either river, depleting them, depressing them, whatever. And just surround it in so much gold light and lift out that grief. As angels, can you help me with this? And just keep melting it. Let's go on. Okay, and if you need to, do another wave. I should really rehearse that. That's not very good. But the point is to laugh, right? So you can do something in a really half-assed way as long as it makes you laugh, right? That's the point. Levity. So imagine your yin and your yang rivers. Imagine any grief that's healthy and gentle to clear out. That's from you or other people. And just use so much gold light. Lift it out. Lots of gold light. And you might need to remind yourself, well, we'll do that a different way. Okay, so then so we lifted out the grief, right? But we'll also heal mini yous to help with the grief. So Okay. So heal mini yous that are so stuck in grief that it's messing with your yin and your yang balance and strength, right? So imagine parts of you, and you can imagine them far out if it freaks you out too much, but little miniature yous from this life or past lives that's stuck in grief. Or, maybe you have a pile of somebody else's grief, just imagine the pile of their grief, but imagine all the mini yous and any leftover grief from others, as a pile, and just heal all that, right? Heal these parts of you that are stuck in grief. And you may have to explain to these parts of you, hey, you get to keep the memories. You can still honor these people with your love and kindness, honor them when you meet them again in another lifetime, but you don't have to keep the grief. You honor them in lighter ways. There are lighter, gentler, more compassionate to yourself ways to honor your loved ones. All right, good job. Couple deep breaths. You can make energy healing flowers. Make energy healing flowers for yourself to help you nourish after having released grief and maybe help you to strengthen more so you can release more grief over the next few days in a gentle, flowing way so it doesn't screw you over how you feel. If it's still flowing out of you, if your grounding isn't blocked, it won't feel bad. It'll like barely feel sad. It'll feel like this much. You could notice it. If your grounding blocks up, then okay, you may feel horrible, but just unblock your grounding then, and then you won't feel horrible, right? So give yourself energy healing flowers to help you support yourself as you clear your grief. So energy healing flowers, as many as you need, out of universal healing energy, gold light, or rainbow colors. Tune it to what you need and say, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. Okay, so this is clearing grief flowers, right? More energy healing flowers for yourself. Tune it to what you need. Angels, can you check my clearing grief flowers? Give them to yourself. One more time. As many flowers as you need. Tune them to just the right vibration to help soothe you. Help validate and congratulate yourself for having cleared grief. Angels, can you check my flowers? Give them to yourself. A couple deep breaths. All right, good job, good job. So we'll do the boat exercise again, which we did 3 days ago in the second healing. So we've done a lot that could potentially make you feel better about faster positive change. Faster positive change because having realizations brings faster positive change typically. And half the time, all you need to do is just, help your yin and your yang balance so that you're stronger and more likely to have your realizations. But then also just get out of your own way by clearing and healing to the point where you welcome, even subconsciously, you welcome this faster positive so that you can let it happen. Right? So we did this before. Just imagine, you're in this boat that represents faster positive. And if you don't like that image, create a different image. There's just something to represent faster positive change. And are you comfortable with it? Are you enjoying? Are you motivated? Like, are you in the front of the boat enjoying the ride? you know, on this river or this ocean of your fast or positive change? Or are you in the middle or the back of the boat kind of resisting or having a fit about it? And just see, you know, maybe there's a percentage of you in the front, a percentage of you in the back. See what it is. See if it's changed as we've been working this stuff today. Okay. And so now put out in front of you energy blocks that are still making parts of you not enjoy the faster positive change, parts of you still not comfortable with the faster positive change. Put all those blocks out in front of you. Angels, is it okay to clear all these right now? And angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And then lots of gold light, get everybody out of these blocks. And melt everybody out, melt the cords, and just melt all these blocks or blow them up. So again, imagine yourself on the boat that represents your faster positive change, on the river or the ocean representing your faster positive change. And are you really enjoying it and you're in the front of the boat, or you're not enjoying it and you're in the back or the middle of the boat? Where are you? And maybe a certain percentage is in front, certain percentage is in the middle and the back. So just check that out, see if it's changing. And one more time, put out in front of you any energy blocks that are causing parts of you to not enjoy faster positive change. So melt those energy blocks. Angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this stuff, can you recycle them? Couple deep breaths. Get a sense of you in the boat, your faster positive change boat. How do you feel about your faster positive change? Are you ready to allow your faster positive change and enjoy it, or not so much? What does it look like now? All right. And you can say, you know, I'm going to let my angels continue to help me with this. Because you can work with your angels in your sleep. You can work with your angels subconsciously when you're awake. All sorts of wonderful possibilities. All right. So let's wrap it up. Okay. All right. So STEBs stands for stubborn triggered energy blocks. And so that's whatever energy blocks still haven't cleared, they're still bothering you on some level. So you can make a big gold blanket out in front of you, put on it copies of any energy blocks that are still triggered, still bugging the heck out of you, consciously or subconsciously, maybe because of something that we discussed today, or maybe just because of life and what's going on for you. And just imagine all those blocks. Say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And then one more request. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? And then go ahead and soak them in red earth energy and use gold light to melt spores from people, melt all these blocks fully. All right. And your physical body and astral body grounding, sometimes when people are uncomfortable, they check their grounding. They're like, my grounding's fine. But maybe one of them is, but the other one isn't. But it's like if you look at them both at the same time, you sometimes might miss that one of them does need more unblocking. So go ahead and look at them separately. So imagine your physical body grounding that grounds your physical body aura all the way down, and just see, is it really unblocked enough? So physical body grounding, go ahead, just unblock that one. And, is it flowing enough so that your body can be comfortable, fully comfortable today and sleep well tonight? A lot of times sleep issues begin to sort of brew way, 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 way before you go to sleep. And it's like maybe the physical body grounding was blocked for most of the day. So then by the time night sleep time comes, it's like your body is tied up in knots, but you might not realize it. So just comb through your physical body aura, like from the waist on down, especially beneath your feet, unblock everything. And unblock your physical body grounding all the way down to the core of the earth. Especially people who are like, oh, I fall asleep fine, but then I wake up and I can't go back to sleep again. I would suggest not only that you work your physical body grounding and your astral body grounding separately, but you also look at, okay, my physical body grounding yesterday, was it unblocked all day? Oops, no, afternoon, it was all blocked all day long. And that's why, because sometimes just pure tiredness will get you to sleep. But then when you wake up, you can't go back to sleep because of, a grounding that got so blocked that then a couple of your chakras were blocked, and then you got boundary issues with your neighbor or whatever, it snowballs. So just physical body grounding, physical body chakras, just gold light through all of them. Acupuncture points, your chakras along your spine, your physical body grounding. Help it just drain out, drain out. You don't have to hold on to any of this junk. Okay. All right. And then astral body grounding, same thing. So your astral body is, the physical, it's you. It's the part of you that can fully come into your physical body. So it looks like a body with an aura, but it's just energy. So that's your astral body, and your astral body aura, your astral body grounding should be ideally as wide as all your auras, as your astral body aura. So just wide all the way down. And by the way, make both your groundings, astral body and physical body, the same color. You don't have to think about color, but sometimes that's an extra way to kick everything out that's not you, is like, okay, I'm setting it to red, or I'm setting it to orange, or setting it to yellow. Even if you can't see what you're doing, the intention is pretty effective anyway. So just as you work your astral body grounding and your astral body aura, melt blocks. Maybe you have some saved arguments in your grounding, just melt them all away. Let them go. Let them go. You might have to talk to yourself about that. Okay, I need to let this go. I need to let it go. I can let things go. A lot of times people feel like, well, if I keep worrying about it, then I'll eventually solve it. But it's just the wrong vibration. Worrying is not a good vibration. It's not going to help you manifest a solution and have healthy realizations and stronger, right? It's going to just keep debilitating you. So it's important. You can say, I'm going to work with my angels on all the issues that are important to me, but then just get rid of the worry. Unblock your astral body grounding. That goes for physical grounding too. But I can see some people being like, no, Jan, I have to keep this worry because it's such an important issue for me. Like, well, yeah, but the worry is in the way of you manifesting a solution. Lots of cold light. All right. So that's that. And then of chakra filaments. So those are cords. But I don't like using that word cord just because people have that sense of like, oh, cords are bad because those are cords to other people. So just think of, your astral body and your physical body and the major chakras along your spine, 7 astral and 7 physical. And you have a filament or a cord that connects your 7th to your 7th, your physical 7th chakra to your astral 7th chakra. So I call that your 7th chakra filament. And then there's your 6th chakra filament, 5th, 4th, 3, 2, 1. Right? So just go light through your chakra filaments, 7 through 1. And just repair them and unblock them, melt cords from people. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my chakra filaments, can you please recycle them? You might need to repair a couple of them. All right. So as we wrap up, you say, angels, can you help me wrap up this healing? Angels, can you help me have healthy realizations? Angels, can you help me access my inner wisdom? All right, that's a healing. You're a rock star. Woo, woo, woo. Good job, good job, good job. Okay, so we'll do a bathroom break and a stretch break, and quickly, and then we will do a little chit chat. And I will try to time the chit chat, just because I started so late in the day that I don't want to be doing this stream forever. So we'll try to be somewhat concise. So if you want, I don't know. I mean, I do want to hear how the healing was for you for sure, but the whole like fix my life stuff, please try to hold back on that. But if you're brand new, you've never asked me anything, that's fine too. Of course, you can say whatever you want. If you want me to look at your energy, put your first and last initial if it's not obvious from your YouTube name. Okay. So let's do this. So I'm gonna get rid of the camera while I am using the restroom, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I'm going to do a moment of stretching, and hopefully maybe that inspires you to do some stretching. If you want, do whatever stretching is gentle for you. Everybody's different, and I'm not a stretching teacher. All right, hi. Hope you had a good break. Typing that with the hope that it's true. Okay. If I don't get to your question, feel free to post it under any video, and I'll get to it when I have time and post a video reply to your video comment. Post a type of reply to your video when I can. All right. Ooh. Okay, so there was the whole sound thing. Audio good. Not sure you were muted on my end. Hey, Janet, glad to be here. Hello to you. This is interesting about something I said. But I'll say what was interesting, but I'm glad something. This is hi, Janet. Thanks for the healing. You are welcome. Thanks for all the pretty emojis. You're like the queen of pretty emojis. Like that. Smith says, I will still call them good karma windows because my brain latched onto that term, but backdoors actually helps me understand them a lot better. Yeah. Yeah. Good. I'm glad it helps. Good karma windows. Yeah. I am behind the wing. Oh, yeah. When we were saying, we're clearing blocks so that you feel more safe and in control with faster positive change. Are you flying the plane or are you not flying the plane of your faster positive change? So that person says they're behind the wing trying not to feel nauseous. I think they meant nauseous. Faster positive change. Yes, faster positive change. So it says, ooh, I love this. Feels just like what I've been needing. Oh, good. So it says, thank you so much for this healing, Janet. I have to duck out a little bit early, but I feel good so far. I had mentioned in my survey that I always seem to be my friend's personal assistant. I read that it seems to be an inner child thing for me pre-healing, but it looks like this yin yang work will help me be better with boundaries and saying no. Did I read that right? My dog's making a big fuss and distracting me. Oh boy. Your friend's personal assistant. You know, some people are good at handing other people problems. That's why I like this expression. I got it in a fortune cookie one time, and I saved the fortune for a long time just because I thought it was pretty like psychic. They were like, I admire your problem. Something like that. Like I forget what it exactly said, but it was like, I admire your problem, as opposed to like, I'm taking on your problem. It's like, oh, that's an interesting problem you have, you know? And it's like, you just sort of remind yourself. You don't have to say it out loud to the person, but it's just a thing where you remind yourself, like, okay, that's their problem. You can have empathy, you know, but some people, they're really good at like giving you a copy of what they're talking about, and then it feels like you need to make the solution. An interesting thing, if we look at gender stereotypes, and again, they're stereotypes, so, you know, plenty of people don't follow this stereotype, you know, but the stereotype, gender, I guess it's not, yeah. Apparently, a lot of women, they want to be listened to, and they want empathy. They want people to understand what they're going through. But they don't really need someone to solve their problem for them. They just want to talk about the issue and be heard, and kind of talk out loud and kind of brainstorm out loud. But men tend to solve other people's problems, and sometimes they solve them by saying, oh, that's not a big deal. You know, so they like kind of dismiss it, but they're trying to say, well, it's really not a problem. I fixed it for you. Now it's not a problem, you know, like that's not a problem, you know, or they'll say, well, you should do this, and this, and this, right? And so they're trying to solve the problem. So the sort of the gender stereotype problem is where the woman just talks about her problem because she wants to talk to somebody about it. She just wants to be heard. But the guy's like, oh, well, why don't you do this and tell him not to do that anymore? And then do this a different way this time. And this is different. And the woman's like, what the hell? Can't you just listen to my issues? You know, like, so it could be interesting. You could kind of like resonate more with, you know, because we all have male and female sides, regardless of, you know, what genetics and, you know, genitalia we were born with, you know. We all have female and male aspects to us, you know, and you could kind of vibe with that stereotypical, you know, female side of just listening, you know, and just validate, you know, and be like, that must be hard, or, you know, wow, I can't believe you have to go through that, or, you know, some kind of empathy. But, you know, just remind yourself, well, I'm just the listener. I'm not the fixer. That's their problem. They're the fixer. They get stronger, they get more empowered by fixing these problems. You know, some people, they just want to talk out loud, but it could be that she doesn't quite know why she's doing that. Maybe that's what her mom did when her mom was growing up. So that's just how she learned to tell a story, is where you hand everybody a copy and see who in the crowd will fix it for you, you know. No, but if you just, you know, if you feel like you've been handed something, just give it to your angels. Say, angels. So I hope that helps. But just, you know, remind yourself you can be a listener. It's okay to be a listener. You know, you don't have to feel burdened by it. just, you know, vibe. You know, it's nice to be heard, you know? She wants to, you know, think out loud. Sometimes with me, it's like I like if I can think a project out loud, then it's like the other person doesn't have to say jack shit. It's just nice to, excuse my French, but it's just nice to talk it out. And then it's like, oh yeah, you know, once I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, I hope that helps. But your thing is that it's an inner child. Yin Yang work. Yin Yang work would certainly help you with it. And I think, like I said, the female side, so the yin side of that, just the listener and just, you know, just listen. You don't have to, you know, take charge and fix whatever she dumps in your aura. So yeah, yin yang stuff I think would definitely help. I mean, inner child, where you feel like you need to be around people who are peaceful, and if not, it's your problem, maybe. You know, like if she's stressed out while she's talking, maybe that, you know, you have a part of you that thinks, well, I need to be around happy people. I need to make someone happy. But, you know, that's maybe more like, what would we call that? Just baggage that causes you to, be overly external, you know, when you're around upset people. Okay. Someone chose flowers, I think, to say thank you, maybe, or just that they like healing flowers, maybe. Someone says, thank you so much, Janet. Clearing grief caught my attention. Earlier today, I went to my uncle's Facebook page and left a yellow heart on his page. Sometimes I think randomly, I randomly rub my ears and think of him. I think that's when he comes to say hi to me. Oh, I see. Did your uncle pass away? See, that would be useful information if you had mentioned that. I'm thinking that this is an uncle of yours who still has a Facebook page, but he's no longer in the body. See, this is what I have to do when I read surveys. It's like I have to like fill in the blanks. Like, okay, so this really means. But anyway, so when you randomly rub your ears, is he saying hi? Yeah, seems like it. You have another relative that does that too. I don't know what the rubbing the ears thing is, but yeah. I don't know if that's just you or that's a universal thing. But yeah, it seems like they can make your ear a little funny feeling, so then you rub it. With me, my headphones do that. My Bluetooth headphones make my ears feel funny. But looks like with you, it's your uncle in heaven. So you're saying after the healing, you feel nice and relaxed. Oh, good. Thank you. You're welcome. So it says, thank you, Janet. I feel deep sadness after the healing, probably because I'm more present now. Also, it seems like someone is courting the back of my fourth and grief/depression baggage. You have a couple energy blocks that didn't clear. That are grief ones. We did clear a lot of grief, and you did clear a lot of grief. It just seems like there's like 4 big chunks that, for some reason, I just took him out. I'm sorry, I didn't. He did one. Sorry. Oops. But yeah, so just clear those extra energy blocks that are causing you to feel your grief. I think some invasive beings are courting the energy blocks more than people. I mean, a couple people, but it's more the invasive beings stuck in the energy blocks. So imagine the grief-producing energy blocks that you're feeling. The angels can recycle all these invasive beings, and then just, you know, lots of gold light, melt the cords, melt the blocks. Someone says, thanks, Janet. Toward the end of this healing, and now I have low-grade anxiety, like a buzzing through my body. I think this is my mom cording and sending energy to first chakra. Accurate, yes. How'd my mom and my spouse do? And I lost your comment. Your mom did okay. She is not great with this theme. Meaning, like, she doesn't mind it, but she's like really baby steps with it. I mean, as you know, she's very into like controlling her surroundings. Not really into like allowing her higher self to like move her forward in, you know, excitingly faster ways. She's very much like, okay, let me do something over and over and over really perfectly. So her angels do love this theme for her. It's just that she sort of has a love-hate relationship with this theme. like some of my conscious clients know, it's like sometimes if you're most turned off by a theme, that's the one you need the most. So that's true with your mom in this one. So, you know, it is what it is. Helping her a little. Your spouse, he more likes it. You know, he aspires to have fast positive change. He aspires to have you know, inner wisdom realizations, you know, that he really, really craves that quite a bit. He still needs to work more of that flying the plane image, you know, and like, you know, clearing the blocks so that he feels safe and in control with positive change. But he's working on it. So yeah. As far as your low grade anxiety, check the back door. You know, first good karma window. That's got a little bit of damage, a little bit of invasive beings, and then that's the main way the extra energy is coming in. Yeah, I would say that's the main thing. So first good karma window. First good karma window. I'll work that more. You know, recycle invasive beings that are hooked into it, repair, repeat. Repair, recycle, recycle, repair. So it says I check my astral body grounding. It's significantly narrower than the physical body grounding. Correct. May explain why I'm not releasing properly. Correct. Good self-assessment. Accurate. So it says, thank you, Janet. I needed this. First week of treatment. Congratulations. No, it's a good thing, but feel very low. Anything I can work on to keep spirits up. Also concerned about my youngest daughter. Your angels like flower healing for your body. Like, so customize the flower healing. What's the vibration of healing energy that my physical body needs right now? And just keep doing flower healing for your body. It seems like too, like heart chakra type things, like, you know, like cute kitten videos, stuff like that. You know, excuse me. Your youngest daughter. You could do like a tricolor soak with her. I mean, seems okay. Just her grounding is really narrow. Does she do any outdoor stuff? You do any like stretching with her? Is she do any nature kind of stuff? Yeah. Maybe you could find something that she likes that you kind of sort of intuitively are like, yeah, this helps her ground. Also, her protein intake, stuff like that. You could stand to be more grounded. Um, Someone says, wow, my yin was so much lower than my yang. Vastly improved after the healing. Oh, good. Someone says, thank you with emojis. You're welcome. Someone says, break. Oh, yeah, the break. So it says, hi, Janet. Any message for my angels on which job is better for me long term? Oh, come on. You can read that. Still waiting for offers from both. And you're giving their initials. Yeah, that would be irresponsible for me to read such a big question on the fly like that during a chat. When I look at you and your ability to read both of them, your mom is not in your space, but there's a friend of yours that kind of sits on your lap while you're trying to read the issue of which job is better for you long term. It seems like it's a friend that like has understands like living abroad and multinational companies and stuff. Definitely a friend, but they're like totally on your lap about this. That maybe just wash out all your friends before you read it. And you could, try different ways of reading it. Like try maybe 3 different ways so that one of them clicks well. But you can look at like this is the vibrational range that you need from a job, say in the next, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and is this something that you could have at this job, or like look for like the check boxes. What do you need to learn in the next 5 years from a job? And would you be able to learn it here? Would you be able to get the financial stability that you need through this job? As like maybe just like a yes or no. You could imagine like like an abundance tree or an abundance river or an abundance garden, and imagine, okay, this is my abundance garden if I take that job. This is my abundance garden if I take that job, and just compare and contrast, just work it, look at it differently, and look at like, yeah, that would be enough. But just, try to be creative, keep washing friends out and family out, and just try looking at it a different way if you don't have clarity one way. Someone says another alternative idea. See, that's interesting because a lot of your comments, I think you deleted them. So you say another. I don't know what the first one was. I don't know if you meant to delete most of your comments or you meant to delete all of them, or what's up with that. But I will read what is not deleted. Another alternative idea I'm using now is clutter. Angels, please remove this unnecessary clutter and anything extra from my space. Okay. Another, yeah. Oh, I see. You're referring to the last, wow. You're referring to the last healing, and because you're saying IB for invasive beings. So another alternative idea rather than saying invasive beings, because 3 days ago in the second healing, I was sort of lamenting slightly that invasive beings sound so weird and trippy for people, potentially, some people. And so sometimes I wish there was a way to, help people clear all that out without actually saying it, even though I really do want to inform people properly. so it's probably not a way. But anyway, you were saying you could just call it clutter instead of invasive beings. Yeah. I use junk, but that's for energy blocks usually, but it could be invasive beings, invasive people, and energy blocks and hard objects. I just call it all junk. But yeah. So clutter, I mean, because invasive beings are kind of like, they are literally sentient. So calling it clutter might be a little misleading. But if it works for you, then that is good for you. So thanks for the suggestion. Someone says, "Hi, Janet. Thanks for the healing." You're welcome. I feel much better, but dizzy and tired. Wow. How did you feel before if dizzy and tired is better? Self-assessment is that I'm clearing a lot. Also, angels are suggesting to clear my fourth more. Am I right? Well, good for you for the self-assessment. Dizzy is a trippy one. I mean, there could be physical issues, obviously, like low blood sugar, stuff like that, that, you want to pay attention to. Have you eaten protein recently? Have you hydrated properly? But dizzy could also be damage, but your creative rings are fine. Your seventh chakras, physical seventh still has a little, physical seventh, 6, and 5 still has some damage. Yeah, just physical 7, astral's fine. Physical 7, 6, and 5 have some damage. Yeah, just physical 7, 6, 5. What about your astral body? Good karma windows. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, those are all fine. Yeah, so I would just say your upper 7, 6, and 5. Repair those more so that you can click in better. So that I think it's like the invasive energy coming through those 3 upper chakras. It's like, it's making you feel a little top heavy. And that, I think that's all that is with the fatigue. Yeah, I think that's most of it. Sometimes fatigue can be, clogged third chakra, but I don't think that's the case right now. I think your third is generating enough energy, both astrally and physically. I mean, just do that repair of the upper chakras and see physical 7, 6, and 5. See how that helps. Are you clearing a lot? Clearing a lot wouldn't make you dizzy, though. Dizzy is like a weirdness, usually damage. But it could be, blood sugar and all that physical stuff too. You are clearing a ton, though. That is absolutely accurate. So that's probably why you do feel that damage more in your upper chakras, even though it's not a lot of damage. So I guess you're bringing in a lot of new energy and you are releasing a lot. I think it's that you're bringing in a lot of new energy and you have those cracks in your upper chakras. So all this new energy of yours is coming in, but then there are the cracks, so you cracks more. And so it just increases the whole top heavy. Yeah. You look good otherwise. Just do a little bit of chakra. Clear the fourth more. I mean, that's always a great idea, especially for you. Astral and physical. Yes, absolutely. That'd be a great idea. This is, "Hi, Janet. Another fun healing. Riding the plane and the boat. I enjoy it." Yes, I do too. I'm glad you like it. When I read my own issue and the way I work on it, I tend to overcomplicate my healing. Yes, you do. Partially because of beings and fear of not doing enough. Very nice self-assessment. Past life baggage on fourth chakra and yin nourishing. Yeah, I think you're saying you should nourish your yin more. Yeah. Yeah, I think when your yin gets too depleted, then your yang like kind of goes nuts and like wigs out and then everything's so complicated. So if you strengthen your yin more, I think then that's gonna, get your yang to like be more appropriate, and then like then you can have a shot at simplicity more. So yeah, I think um yeah, I mean it's kind of a fourth chakra issue too, but I think the yin and the yang might be the best way to work it. Because you've been working chakras for so long, and it's like if it was easy to clear with chakra work, you would have already cleared it by now. So yeah, I would do the yin river, more of that. But I mean, you could work fourth chakra more, of course. Back of your fourth chakra, in particular, back of fourth layer, astral and physical. Someone says, "Oh yes, I meant to put he passed away." Yeah, the most important thing. That would have been helpful. LOL. Seriously, what the fuck? I know I'm psychic, but you know. Do Heaven family members come for a reason, or they just stop by to say hi, hang out, give support? Thank you. Well, yes, that is a reason. I mean, I don't understand. Like, is there a reason that you're not understand? Is there an extra reason? Generally, no. I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe they have some advice that you're not, that like some of your sadness or some of your guilt is blocking. You know, that's possible. You could just you know, put all the baggage out in front of you that's blocking you from hearing, you know, the extra details in your messages from your heaven loved ones. You know, it could be some grief baggage, but it could also be shame or guilt or whatever. So just clear baggage in the way of you hearing, and yeah, receiving advice from your heaven friends. Yeah, because you can listen to subconsciously too. That's a cool thing, even if you can't hear consciously yet. So if you clear the baggage, then you'll even be a better subconscious listener. Oh, that's cool. This is, hey Janet, thank you for your help. You're welcome. Can you please share any messages from my angels about my destiny? I've been having a really hard time getting a clear read energetically. Well, a couple things. I don't have your initials, so that would be maybe not so easy for me because I don't know that that is your actual name for your YouTube ID. Sorry. I don't know that that's your name, your YouTube ID there. So if you happen to reply right now with your initials, that would help, your first and last name initials. But if not, see, the thing is my destiny. I don't really read at that level of like, that's a little like extra woo woo for me. I'm very like a concrete, you know? So like, for example, you know, have I learned everything I need to learn at my current job? So I should start looking for another. You know, have I, you know, like concrete questions? So the whole like, what's my destiny? It's just not sort of my vibe. I haven't done that kind of thing professionally or even personally. Like for me, I just feel like if you're on your path and you're moving forward, then you're going to learn what you're meant to learn in this life. So it doesn't have to be like a PowerPoint presentation or a, you know, what does corporate America make it, like a mission statement. You don't have to have a mission statement as a person, really, in order to be on your path and be doing your best in your life. But I can look at, are you on your path? Are you moving forward? I would say sometimes you're moving forward for a while, but then you get into these modes where you kind of, there's a little bit of like you over question everything. Like why? You know, it's like you kind of get a little too detached from your physical body. And so you're not as rooted. And so it's like, it becomes this almost like a crossword puzzle. You know, like if I knew the answer to 7B and then I knew the answer to 10D, then I could piece it all together, right? You know, whereas I think if you just work on getting in your body more and being very body connected and repair and heal, then, you know, and work on concrete things and concrete next, like, you know, stretching, hydration, you know, how's your auras, you know, like you could definitely work on aura repair up top. Got like a big valley right there. So that's going to really make it hard for your upper chakras to have that focused, level-headed clarity. So simple things like that, like body connectedness, protein, you know, aura repair. Your chakras aren't so bad, actually, your major chakras, which is kind of interesting because you have a lot of damage to your auras up here, and yet your seventh chakra is undamaged. So I wonder if you just repair your chakras a lot with whatever you do consciously or subconsciously. Your creative rings are damaged. Yeah, because with all that aura damage there, there's not enough protecting up here. You know, there's not enough of your flowy energy to keep everything nice and safe. So I would redo creative ring repair and then aura repair until all this is repaired. All 17 auras are whole and flowing here. And then your creative rings are whole and just like 3 gold rings without any flaps sticking out. You know, they're just like generate gold light and you just, you know, so aura repair, creative ring repair would just worked out more. And the body connectedness, you know, try to be more concrete because it's going to change your, going to root you more, and then your mind won't be kind of lost in 60 questions. Hope that makes sense. And in all these healings, we do an aura repair section, we do a creative ring repair section, and within a day, there'll be unique video chapters. So you can go right to the aura repair or right to the creative ring repair. But right now, you could go to my YouTube page, and there is a playlist called Shorter Videos or something like that. I always call it my short video playlist. And in there is an aura repair video and there is a creative ring repair video. So you could just use those short videos if make it into a playlist. Just and there's also there's a grounding one that does legs and arms. So I think that could be a nice combo because it's very, you know, you do grounding and then you do your legs and your arms and kind of mend up the energy leaks so that you can be more clicked in. So hope that makes sense. If it's not what you're looking for, I apologize, but that's kind of what I see that would help you move forward faster. Someone says, every time I read it, I get that, and you mention a certain job is the better fit. But mentally, ego thinks that the other one is the better title and potentially more interesting. Yeah, that is interesting when you describe it in more detail. What I would say with that is it looks like, you know, like how I always say, like I often say that there are different parts of us, you know, we're not always one way. And so the question is, it does look like that's not other people. It's like part of you prefers this one job and the other part of you prefers the other job. So the question is, who should win, you know? You could look at, you know, who do your angels agree with? Which part of you do your angels agree with? You could look at which part of you is that way just because of baggage and fear. Which part of you is that way because it's more evolved, you know? And you could heal both parts of you no matter what, you know, because you're never wrong in healing, you know? So do a tricolor soak with these parts of you, gold light with these parts of you, because ideally you want to be more unified so that you actually pick one place to work at. So that's interesting though, yeah. Very interesting. So yeah, just heal mini yous until you're more unified in your opinion. Someone says, hi Janet, I think you skipped my question. I was in the beginning. It was in the beginning. All right, well yours will be the last I do. I am sorry if I did skip it. Great healing, Janet. Heart emoji. Oh, you know why I did? Because somebody had a two-parter right before you and right after you, so I had to jump to keep reading there. Sorry about that. Great healing, Janet. Calling back the yin yang energy made me feel spacey. Doubtful. I mean, I understand you feel spacey, and that happened while you were calling it back, but I think something else is going on. What extra things can I do to help me with longing and sadness I feel when a certain person is away with their partner? Well, it's just energy blocks in front of your heart chakra and in fourth chakra and in front of your fourth layer. So you could try like an endocrine, like what is that when you work out and you get this rush of something really good? I forget what working out releases in your body. Sorry. Like this really basic thing. But you could try a workout, like get on a treadmill or, lift some weights. I mean, body appropriate amount of weights, but, I would say it seems like working out might blow it out of you, just all the blocks, kind of get a soundtrack going, get a playlist going and just, and just like kind of lose yourself to the workout, Lorenzo, what is that where you're working out and you feel something when you work? Like, what does your brain release when you're working out? Endorphins? Yeah, thank you. Get an endorphin rush going. I think that'll help you blow out the blocks. I mean, otherwise you could unblock your fourth chakra, but obviously that hasn't worked yet enough for you. So the endorphin rush probably would be better. Get some good music going and just work out. Blast it out of you. But yeah, calling yin yang back didn't. It's something else. Looks like your mom doesn't want your yin to be so strong, because she kind of feels like she needs to be your protector. She doesn't know what she is to you if you're strong and whole. Like she just has it so much in her head that you need her. Like the world is a terrible place and you're going to just get crushed like a bug if she's not in your space to prevent it. Like her own fears. So maybe just ask your angels for boundaries help. But it looks like calling back yin yang energy is pretty huge. Like she has like suitcases of your yin energy stored away. That's really odd. Wow. So there's that. So yeah, that is something that you could keep working, but kind of keep an eye on her and have angels make like big gold walls between you and her for a while before and during and after you do it, just so that you can get used to owning it and not let it get taken so easily. Yeah. I hope that helps. Okay. Serotonin. Yeah. Serotonin, endorphins, I think. Serotonin is probably something else. Maybe. Endorphins, serotonin. Serotonin is probably slightly different. I'm going to look up both of them after the stream. Endorphins, yeah, endorphins. Thank you. You're welcome. Great, thank you. You're welcome. Okay, cool. All right, you guys are amazing, and I gotta go. But Orson's history will have to be for another day. If you want, you could. I might put it on a short video on my other channel. So that my other channel is called Janet's Pineapple Time. So it's a YouTube channel. I think it's only got like 51 subscribers at this point. So you are welcome to be number 52. So hopefully at some point there will be Orson's story coming onto that YouTube channel. Orson, our new second cat. who cuddles really well. He's totally cute. He's very chubby though at this point. All right, guys. Thank you very much to you too. You guys are so amazing. So we'll do some butterflies as we wrap up. Bye, you guys. You're amazing. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening. Woohoo! So this concludes the September triplet set. So the next healing set will be in just over a week and a day, starting Thursday, September 18th, and then Sunday, September 21st. And that there are still some spots left for that September twin set on my website, jwhealing.com. jwhealing.com. And then some spots for October are still left. Not as many as usual, though. So you could jump on it if you wish. Okay.